You step outside, maybe it's early. Maybe the coffee is still in your hand, still steaming. The yard is quiet. That kind of quiet that feels borrowed, like the rest of the world hasn't quite woken up yet. And then you see it. Just a bird, small, completely still, standing maybe 4 feet away right on the edge of the grass. You doesn't fly away. It doesn't scatter. It just watches you. But not with that nervous darting panic birds usually have when something massive gets too close. Not with that instinct to flee that's been hardwired into every prey animal on this planet for 200 million years. It watches you the way something totally self-assured watches. It's calm, measured, just completely present. And in that moment, for reasons you can't really name, you go completely still too. Something just happened between you and that bird. And honestly, most people had absolutely no idea what it actually was. Here's what most of us assume. We think the bird is just comfortable. Maybe it's used by people. Maybe it's hungry, looking for a handout, reading you the way a dog reads a stranger at the door. But that assumption is wrong. What you're experiencing right there isn't familiarity. It isn't tame. It is something far more deliberate. It's a calculation being run in real time by an animal whose brain, while small enough to fit in a teaspoon, processes visual information at a speed and resolution that makes human vision look primitive. That bird isn't staying because it isn't afraid. It's staying because it has already assessed you. It looked at your posture, your breathing rate, the microtension in your shoulders, even the exact angle of your eyes, and it reached a conclusion. You have been evaluated. And what happens next depends entirely on whether you actually know the rules of the encounter you just walked into. This moment, this strange, suspended stillness between a person and a wild thing happens thousands of times every day in backyards all over the world. And almost every single time, it passes without the person ever understanding what they just participated in. But that changes right now, because once you understand what is actually happening when a bird allows you to stand that close, you'll never see that moment the same way again. You'll realize that the encounter isn't incidental, it isn't random. It is one of the most intimate things nature can ever offer you. If this is the kind of hidden truth that stops you in your tracks, the science underneath the ordinary, the intelligence inside the invisible, then stick around. Hit subscribe, because every single video we make here is designed to make the world around you feel a little stranger and a lot more beautiful than it did before. Every wild animal has this internal radar. Biologists call it the flight initiation distance, basically the exact bubble of space an animal keeps between itself and danger before it decides to bolt. For most little birds, that bubble is pretty small, maybe 5 to 15 feet, depending on what kind of bird it is and what might be hunting it. But when a bird actually lets you inside that zone, when it just stands its ground as you cross that line, it's evolved to protect something incredible is happening under the hood. Its heart rate, usually, it skyrockets when anything big gets close. But right now, it's totally normal. Cortisol, the chemical that drives animal fear, isn't flooding its system. Its leg muscles aren't tensed up, even though they're usually spring-loaded, to launch into the air in a split second. The bird isn't just ignoring you. It made a choice. A conscious, active decision based on what it noticed about you, and it literally redrew its boundaries. That whole process took about 200 milliseconds. In that exact same window, your own brain barely processed a single thought. The bird finished a complete threat assessment before you even realized you were looking at it. That's who you're dealing with here. When a bird looks you in the eye, it's not doing what we do when we look at another person. We read our eyes emotionally, right? We look for warmth, anger, or what someone is thinking. We want the story behind the eyes. But a bird reads your face like a machine. Most songbirds have eyes on the sides of their heads, which gives them a massive, nearly 300-degree view of the world. But here's what that means in practice. To look right at you, a bird has to turn its head. It has to make a deliberate, conscious choice to aim its main line of sight directly at your face, and that choice is never casual. When a bird turns to look straight at you, it's running a rapid-fire scan. It takes a series of micro-fixations across your face and body, pulling specific data points every single millisecond, the dilation of your pupils, the exact direction you're looking. It checks if your eyes are moving with that restless tracking pattern of a predator looking for a chase, or if you have the soft, unfocused stillness of something harmless. It's scanning your face the way a machine reads a document line by line, building a threat profile in real time. And honestly, the strangest part? It almost certainly recognizes your specific face. It's probably seen you before. Here's where most of us mess up. The second you realize a bird is watching you, your brain goes, "Oh, I need to be completely still." And right then, your body does something that completely gives you away. You freeze on purpose. You hold your breath. Your muscles lock up. You're basically acting still rather than just being still. And the bird sees right through it. Wild animals are incredibly sensitive to intention movements. These are the tiny micro-preparations a body makes right before it moves. A predator about to pounce doesn't make a sound, but its weight shifts forward just a fraction. Its eyes narrow. Its breathing changes. These signals are ancient. They are so deeply baked into the vocabulary of survival that they existed before language, before mammals, even before the continents moved to where they are now. So when you deliberately freeze, you're actually broadcasting predator signals. That sudden stiff quietness, the slight forward lean, the shallow breathing, those aren't the signs of something harmless, just passing through. To a bird, those are the signs of something hunting. The birds that hang around humans effortlessly, the ones that seem totally unbothered, aren't doing anything special. They just aren't putting on a performance. They're breathing normally. Their weight is balanced and their gaze is soft. They pass the test not by trying to pass it, but just by having nothing to hide. Back in 2019, researchers studying crow intelligence found something that completely changed how we look at our relationship with wild animals. When a crow saw a human, it recognized someone it had interacted with before. Its brain didn't just register a face. It instantly pulled up a stored emotional context. It was a kind of memory that attached a specific feeling to that person, a sense of safety or danger, good or bad. The crow wasn't just recognizing a person. It was remembering exactly how that person made it feel. And what's really amazing about this is what it says about us. If a bird is pulling up an emotional memory of you, it means your past presence created a physical change inside that bird's brain. You left a mark. So when you look at that bird standing just 4 feet away in your yard, remember it's not just tolerating you. It's not ignoring you either. It has a file on you. And somewhere in that file, built from your daily habits, the sound of your footsteps, and the way you don't look directly at the feeder when you fill it up, is a pattern. And that pattern just told the bird right now, this one is safe. Honestly, this is the part that usually creeps people out a little bit. Because right now, literally today, the birds outside your window actually know more about you than you know about them. Think about it. They know exactly which window you look out of first thing in the morning. They know the specific creak or slam your back door makes. They know if you're someone who moves fast or slow, if you like to pace around the yard on your phone, if you have a dog, and even if that dog is actually a threat or just lazy. They basically built a complete behavioral map of your entire household, and they update it every single day. But here's the thing, being labeled safe by them isn't permanent. It's temporary. It's a trial run, constantly being reevaluated every time they see you. You could spend 6 whole months building up trust in your yard, moving carefully, keeping your eyes averted, filling up the feeder without making a scene, and you can completely ruin all of it with just one wrong move, one sudden lunge, one shout, just 1 second of being unpredictable. And this is where it gets interesting and kind of terrifying. When you break that trust, it doesn't just stay between you and that one bird. It gets broadcasted. The alarm call they make doesn't just mean danger in general. It means this specific human at this specific house just became dangerous. And every single bird with an earshot takes that note and files it away. Just like that, your whole reputation in the neighborhood ecosystem changes. So just picture all of that for a second. That bird hanging out near you right now, it's not just a bird. It's a node in a massive surveillance network covering your entire neighborhood. It has a facial recognition profile of you. It's holding on to an emotional memory linked directly to your face. It just ran a split-second biometric scan of your body language and decided, okay, you're not a threat right now. And it has chosen completely on purpose, based on months of watching you, to stay right inside that safety zone. Evolution gave it to stay alive. That decision, just that simple act of them staying put, it represents something you almost can't find anywhere else in modern life. A completely wild animal, with absolutely nothing to gain and everything to lose, looked right at you and decided you were worth the risk. And it didn't make that choice because you're powerful or useful or even because you have food. It chose you because of how you've been acting, quietly, day after day, without ever realizing you were being watched. Here is what no one ever really tells you. If you look back through the entire span of human history, through every culture, every myth, every spiritual tradition on the planet, the exact moment a wild animal decides to stay near a human has always been seen as something sacred, as a sign, something that matters way beyond just basic biology. And you know what's wild? Modern science, even with all its data and clinical precision, has ended up at the exact same conclusion. That bird didn't just land near you by accident. It chose you, specifically. And it did it based on a literal file it's been keeping on you, maybe for years. It got as close as it possibly could without crossing its own internal boundary, looked you right in the eye, and it stayed. In the language of the wild, that isn't a coincidence. That is trust. Real, deliberate, incredibly fragile trust. And honestly, it's one of the rarest things you will ever find on this earth.